After I got divorced, my mom was really sick. Just before she passed, there was a time I visited her in hospital. She's like, Dumi, there's a baby on the bed. I'm like, babies are not allowed in this ward. After she passed, then my daughter then reveals that she's pregnant. She was 19. When I lost my mom, I didn't just lose my mom. I lost the church that I was a part of at the time as well. Sure. Got married at age 30. Divorced age 33.
Sure.
I'm not bashing marriage, but I'm actually asking myself, why did I say yes to it? Why did I agree to it?
Marriage is a reality check, okay? Because you get to know the real person.
Yes.
Not the persona in front of the audience, in front of his family, or in front of the church.
Yes.
You get to know the real person behind the veil, behind the fasting and the prayer.
I've been through the most. Been through the most.
Hola, Hi. Welcome to another episode of I've Been Through the Most, a podcast right here on Centtwinz TV. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, welcome. We are so honored to have you. And of course, I don't want to say and of course because you already told me not to say of course. We are available on our different social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X if you call it. That is where we post all our pictures and our promos. Please make sure that you go and give us a big like there and a comment. And of course on this episode, Millicent, they cannot watch without commenting. Let us know where you are watching from. Namibia, we see you.
You always mention
Kenya,
Namibia.
we see you. Zambia, we see you. Nigeria, we see you. We see all those flags and we see all those flags and we are so glad that you could join us on this episode. We appreciate you being a subscriber. If you have not yet subscribed, it's absolutely free. Please make sure that you join the Sant fam and join the family. There's also another button right there that you can click and it's called join. If you want to join us as a member on the channel, you want to support the initiative, want to support the podcast, the production company, please just click on the join button and different options will be presented to you. We really, really appreciate it and it goes a long, long, long way.
Yes, and I'm sure you've heard YouTubers say, don't skip the ads.
Exactly what they used to say in radio when they say, let's go pay the bills. That's exactly what it does. So please help us by not skipping the ads. Try not to. Thank you in advance. But week in and week out and twice a week.
We're
trying, guys. We're trying our best. Twice a week we have incredible guests.
Twice a week.
Yeah, you see it goes. We try our best to bring guests that come and share their stories, to come and inspire you and for a sense of motivation.
Yeah.
They're testifying. They are sharing their story. They like it's a lot,
giving
man.
you courage,
Minister on its own, eh?
Yeah.
Like I never watched. I know I'm part of this show, but I never watched this show and remain the same.
No, never.
Yeah. Impact, power, purpose. That is what we are all about. Let's get into our story today. On that note, lest I forget, you can also be a guest if you have a story. Please do send us an email using the email address down below. Also available on the description box if you want to sit on the hot seat. So today we are joined by a fabulous lady, which I met years ago. She was so bubbly, man. I was thinking a talented lady.
Why did it was? Is she not bubbly anymore?
No, I mean, I haven't seen her in forever. But I'm saying, like, when I met her, I was like, oh, she's so energetic.
I met her
She's
before
a creative,
too.
yeah, and she's an absolute creative. Please welcome Melo.
If it was radio, I'd say poo 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 poo.
You're looking so cute, girl. I love purple so much.
I said to her,
we didn't even plan it, but we matched with a dress in terms of our earrings.
Right.
Yeah.
She
And
looks
you're
absolutely
always wearing
gorgeous.
a tutu skirt. Is it part of your brand? Like, since I've met you, you probably have a million tutu skirts in your cupboard.
I do. And I think I talk a little bit about that in my book. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm jumping the gun. But I realized years later that because I had such low self-esteem with regards to my body, so the tutu dress kind of enhances your figure and gives you an illusion of a beautiful shape.
Oh, I see. Every day you actually wearing a smart skirt. You know, She's got all sizes of tutu skirts.
No way. Really? I do different colors.
Sissy, listen.
Different, like, I love tutu skirts because they give the illusion of this beautiful figure. You don't know what's
I thought
underneath.
it's part of the brand. Like, I like it. What's underneath.
Then yeah, well, it became my brand eventually.
Yeah.
I think at one stage I was selling tutus even.
Wow. So it's a thing for you.
Because like people are like, no, I want one. I'm like, okay.
Because of the way you styled it also.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to know you a little bit more for the viewers who are seeing you for the first time. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you grew up, and who Melo is.
Well, I am from Mahikeng in the Northwest Province. My name is Melo Mtetwa, also known as MeloBeGreat, or just Melo for short. I'm a musician, I'm a presenter, I'm an MC, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother.
Hey!
And most recently an author.
I'm like, please, we are the same age. I cannot. How are you doing it? I cannot.
Listen, I mean, each one must carry their own child.
Come
That's
on.
it. Like, come on. Like, yeah, so a lot of people are like, yo, how can you do it? How do you? No, it's her child. So it's her baby. She's raising her baby. And we are just there supporting. Yeah. But to cut a long story short, grew up in Mahikeng with both my parents. My parents got divorced, and my parents both remarried and divorced again.
Haibo, both.
Both of them. My dad remarried a couple of times. My mom only once and divorced. So she divorced twice. And I think growing up, I was just so close to my dad, and I think that void when he left, it just caused me to look for love in all the wrong places. I ended up falling pregnant at age 18. So I was a teen mom. Raised my daughter. Fast forward, got my life on track. Got married at age 30, divorced age 33.
Sure.
And yeah, after I got divorced, my mom was really sick, in and out of hospital, struggling with kidney failure. Our lives just revolved around going to the hospital to visit her. And eventually she went on to be with the Lord. And she succumbed to kidney failure. I was age 37. And I remember, just before she passed, there was a time I visited her in hospital. And she's like, so my family calls me Dumi. She's like, Dumi, there's a baby on the bed. I'm like, Mama, how is there a baby? Babies are not allowed in this ward. Like, there's no kids allowed, actually. And my daughter was at the reception at the time. And I didn't know she was pregnant. And my mom, so I'm thinking the medication is like, messing with her. She's like, there's a baby, man. Who's this? She's calling all her grandkids, like my brother's child, my sister's child. And I'm like, there's no baby, Mama. Calm down, Lo and behold, after she passed, then my daughter then reveals that she's pregnant. She was 19 at the time. So you can imagine losing your mom. You are the firstborn daughter. It's the first time that you have to be in the bedroom making those decisions of planning her final farewell. Up until that time, I'd never been a part of those conversations, those decisions, driving, picking the outfit, driving to the mortuary to go drop it off, like
signing those papers.
Hey,
I'm so sorry. Hey,
so like
I remember you sending me the message. I was like, wait, but your mom was fine. I had no idea she's sick. So and I know like you had to take on a lot, and really like hid that whole, making sure she gets a beautiful send off. Like it's amazing how like someone passing away in a family makes you grow up so fast. Like you're saying, it's things, conversations, things you never thought you'd do, and now you're doing them.
It was difficult. You have to put on your big girl panties, and you don't have time to actually really, really grieve. Only afterwards, that's when it really, really hits you. I mean, I remember I would sit in the house would be dark, the curtains would be closed, the kids are at school, because I don't want them to see me that way. Just before schools come out, that's when I get up quickly, take off my pajamas, open the curtains, cook, try and fix up the house, just so they never see me in the state that I was, which I think I lost my mind temporarily. Temporary insanity. I think that's what it was, where you don't even know what you're doing or where you're going. You open the fridge, you open the cupboard. What was I doing? You're putting things in the wrong place. Like, your mind is not working at all. Like, literally, grief can get you to a place where you really lose your mind. And you can also just die. You can stop living.
Yes, a part of you does die.
Yeah.
I think in my opinion, having experienced loss like that, I feel like a part of you dies with them as they leave, and then you have to find something to just come back to life, like you can breathe again, like it's okay. It's so hard, and people don't talk enough about grief. I don't know if it's harder losing a mom as a child or as an adult, because you lost your mom as an adult, but you guys make it look hectic, because I think it's different when you're a child. You grieve differently than when you've known your mom to be there, and you really, really know her. Like, I cannot imagine how now getting back in there and navigating life without her.
This person who gives you advice, this person who prays with you. The first time when my mom got sick, she was working in Bloemfontein at the University of the Free State. It was around 5 a.m. She calls me. She's like, pray. I'm like, what's happening, Mama? I'm praying with her there. She's like, she's vomiting, diarrhea. I'm like, let's call an ambulance,
Yeah.
And from there it was downhill, really. But you can see that this is a person who thought of her firstborn daughter at her weakest moment. And even in the hospital, her clothes that were soiled, she only put them aside and say, no, Dumi what? Difeng Dumi. And God gave me just so much strength. I'm one person who's easily disgusted by everything, but during that time taking care of my mom, I was not disgusted at all. I was shocked at myself. I think it's just strength that God gave me. Listen, I've put you here, but I've also equipped you so that you are able to handle it. Right? And I think that's really what got me through the season that I was in, because I had to tap in deep inside. I think there's a saying that I love. It says, when you reach the end of yourself, that's where you'll find God. And when I really got to the end of myself, where there was no one around me, because mind you, when I lost my mom, I didn't just lose my mom. I lost the church that I was a part of at the time as well. I lost friends, family, people who just didn't show up. You just don't know.
People just disappear.
People not showing up, the church not showing up for you, you not understanding what's happening. Meanwhile,
when you need them the most, actually,
my mom, her last Christmas was in that church, and we couldn't get her out. We had a family gathering, I remember, after the service, and the service was taking long, and me and my siblings one by one were like, no, go call her. I'm trying. She's just like, it's like she knew. She's just worshiping. No, you go. I tried, you go, and we were just calling her. But she just wanted to be in God's presence in that church. And then that same church, 6 months later, is nowhere to be found. And there's this story and this story and that story, and you just don't understand. Nothing is adding up. These are people you would spend almost 4 to 5 days a week with them, it's home cell, it's, you know, prayer meetings, it's choir practice. Like, you just spend your time with them, and in your moment of need, they're not there. So you can imagine I was, you know, heartbroken because of losing so many people, not just my mom, and then family members who just don't show up and you don't know why, friends who don't show up and you don't know why, and then you are left alone. I was describing it to somebody that it's like having your leg broken, right? And there's no crutches, and you are like, how do I
learn
walk?
how to
No, what do I hold on to? And God is like, no, but you need to hold on to me, right? You're looking for that friend. You're looking for that family member. You're looking for somebody to help you to walk. And God is saying, no, I'm the one who's going to help you to walk. And I had to look to him because I had no one. There was
you
no
had no
one.
choice, because you
Like,
were at the end.
I had no
you
choice.
had reached the point where there were no more options,
You'd
and
exhausted
God
all her-
literally became the only option. But before that, you had already gone through so much. You know, being young as well, and a similar age, I can imagine going through a divorce. And also, you mentioned, I mean, it was just 3 years or just under 3 years that you were married. And, you know, we live in a society, and I say this all the time when we have someone who's been divorced, that it's the pain of the divorce, the loss of the divorce, then it's the stigma as well that comes with it. How was that process for you? How was that? Like, girl, what had happened?
Girl, I was already used to now stigmas. I mean, imagine you're playing piano and singing in your church at age 18, and then you fall pregnant. Everybody knows you in the church, right? People are calling the church to confirm. Imagine, that's how big a deal it was at the time.
People are forwarding messages.
Like, people are like, I remember, I'll always respect that pastor, Pastor Mike Tessendorf. It was a Friday evening youth service, and he said, listen, I want to put the rumors to bed, okay? She is pregnant. Now let's stop talking about it. Let's stop gossiping about it. And the elders of that church came to my home, and they said, when a part of the body is broken, we don't cut it off and throw it away. We put it in a cast until it is healed and it is able to work again. And once it is able to work again, then we take off the cast, and that part of the body now starts to function.
What a
And
great
she said,
way to handle it.
imagine, they're like, no, we're not going to cut her off from the church, right? We're going to allow her to be restored during this season.
I'm going to help her.
Yes.
In that process.
And once she's okay.
She's 18. You're 18-year-old. So whatever they do can either break or make you at that
Exactly.
point. It's a message from the church. It's a message of Christianity, of Christ. Everything that they do is speaking of this safe place called church. So are they going to condemn you, or are they going to take you in as a child? Because I believe you're a child at 18, you know, that let's help you out through this journey. So that's beautiful to hear how the
So
church
you
handled
continue
it.
to go to church throughout your pregnancy?
Continued to go to church. That church was so supportive. My daughter grew up in that church. You know, I went on to go back to the worship team. I experienced real love from that church growing up, you know. And then obviously I had to move this side, Gauteng. But fast forward years later, now I'm married, you know, with a it couple in the church.
You found your husband in church?
In church, yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the worship
You
team.
got a brother, sister.
Girl, it's like you read my book. That's exact. I mean, I even go on to describe what a brother is for those who don't know. So, you know, and yeah, we got sort of hooked up because people were like, you're a fashionista, he's a fashionista. You guys will make a great couple.
You look cute together.
You know, you look, we've already seen
I feel like
you.
all
I'm
the girls that can sing in church, it's so easy for y'all to get brothers because everyone's looking at you. If you can sing, it's like, hey.
But he wasn't
Everyone's
even
like, when are you
looking at
getting
me.
married? When are you getting married?
He wasn't looking at me. He didn't even know who I was. I didn't know who he was. Yes. I think also maybe the magnitude of the church. I'm not sure. But he really didn't know me and I didn't know him.
Okay.
Fast forward, we get married after 6 months.
Wow.
And
That was quick.
After
yes,
meeting?
Yeah. And then fast forward again, divorced after 3 years, actually separated.
Yeah.
And I think officially divorced after 5 years or so. And you can imagine now, because I found him in that church, I left the church. So I lost that church that I had been a part of for like 10 years, I think.
Yeah,
serving
because
there.
yeah, and I think that's actually a good point that you're mentioning, because you have a home, a spiritual home. You meet your husband. It's like one person has to leave, or both.
You can't both coexist.
But like, how do you navigate that? And I'm asking because I know there are people who are going through the exact same thing. Like, why does one person have to leave? Is it just awkward?
Hi, but
Or
girl.
is it
So you want to sit there and watch your husband get married again?
And the church celebrates a standing.
Like the
and
way
an
they stood up for
engagement.
you and they were like dancing for you when they announced that you two are getting married. I don't think
It's part of the changes that you have to do, ne?
I don't think it'll be healthy to be a part of that, or perhaps you serving with the new wife in the same department, and the confusion just for the child, perhaps who's used to sitting with mom and dad.
Okay.
Now you guys are sitting apart. I mean, there was a time we were separated and we'd sit together. He would come and sit with us because our son was young. He'd sit with us the entire service, walk us to the car, because nobody knew we were separated.
Yo. So were you staying in different places at this time?
Yes.
But so you'd arrive separately, but when he arrives, he comes to sit next.
Yeah.
And I mean, what would the conversation be like? Hi.
Yeah. No, the conversation is the baby. Hello, baby.
So like actor.
Yeah.
It was like a whole acting scene every
We are
Sunday.
just acting there, playing with the baby, laughing with the baby. The baby is entertaining us,
And
and
he
that's
walks
it.
into the car.
Walks us to the car. Bye, baby. Puts the baby in the car seat, straps him up. You just start the car, gone. You know, and nobody knew. The pastor didn't know as well. You know, for some time that this was happening.
What would you say? You know, I know being in a marriage, there's many reasons to everything. Like, there can never be like one reason, right? And I don't even want to call it maybe the reason of divorce. I want it to be more like a lesson that you have learned, something that you can say, this for me was a thing and was important for me, and if somebody can do this right, maybe things are going to be all right, because there can never just be one reason. There's many contributing factors to why we make such huge decisions, because this is a big decision.
Absolutely.
Getting divorced, nobody gets married to divorce, but you do get to a point where it's just, it's over. You know, what was it for you? What can you share along those lines, you know, to shed a little bit of light?
You know, firstly, I think there is no manual. There's no recipe to the perfect marriage. Number one. My book is titled Why Did I Get Married To? Right? And when I started writing the book, it was during the time of separation from my ex-husband. And it was a time of reflection. And so I think when God gave me the idea to write the book, and when he pushed me to say, listen, this is what you're going to do, right? It's because he wanted me to completely heal. And for me to heal, I needed to go back into my childhood. I needed to relive some of the childhood traumas. And really take a look at my relationship with love, how I viewed love growing up, how I viewed men, and why I actually got married. You know, I'm not bashing marriage, but I'm actually asking myself, why did I say yes to it? Why did I agree to it? You know, and I share some of the lessons that I took from my marriage, and I think I'll just highlight one, which is sometimes just expecting perfection from your spouse. Remember, you mentioned brother at the beginning, that you finally dated a brother. This was like now I think my second brother second or third, but like obviously the other brothers I was young,
Were
a younger,
as this one.
And over the years, because I was such a rebel, I dated people who were like me, the black sheep of the family, the party animal. So when my ex-husband met me, I had now gotten my life together. I was focused, girl. I even mentioned that if there was Instagram then, I was meal prepping, I was going to the gym, I was going to church. I was a focused hun, when he met me. And he was a brother, and he was leading intercession in the church. And I think he was leading
intercession, worshiper. I mean,
preaching as well. He was preaching. We went to Bible school together.
Hey!
So we attended Bible school as well when we were dating, because he was attending, and then
sounds
I
like
was
a perfect
inspired,
combo. A solid foundation.
So, but that's the other thing. It's good and bad, because now from my side, remember with my background in my past, so now I expect perfection, because you're a brother, right? You're in the church. Did I not meet you in the church? So are we not going to be praying every night, midnight prayers, and
so like you thought this guy that I'm seeing in church, I'm going to see at home.
Yeah,
and we praying.
We're taking
always.
Jesus home now.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to arguments, we're going to check what is God saying? Open a verse there, Can't it's just two human beings now at home? Like it's like, hey, bo, like
marriage is a reality check, okay?
Like
reality check, because you get to know the real person.
Yes.
Not the persona in front of the audience, in front of his family, or in front of the church. Yes. You get to know the real person behind the veil, behind the fasting and the prayer and the perfection on Sunday.
Behind the worship, and the prayer warrior.
Listen.
Like it's
the
like
most popular person in church, that one.
So I think for me, I just couldn't understand it. I was like, no,
this
is but that's just one of the things.
Okay.
There are other things as well that I've mentioned.
It also doesn't mean there's anything wrong with him as well. Like she said, these are the expectations that she had.
Someone said one of the biggest, I guess, misunderstanding between two people are unmet expectations.
Yes.
So, uncommunicated expectations as
also.
well. Yes. Cause division. So I know what I want, but I don't communicate it, but I still expect it from you.
Yes.
And if you don't give it to me, and I still don't communicate that you're not giving it to me, then I'm very upset at you, and I'm not talking, I'm upset. I get frustrated in my little cocoon, and that piles up, and that piles up, and that piles up, and then it's just like it blows out of proportion. And when we are trying to have a conversation about a small thing, but because I've got this entire pile that I've been holding along,
I can't hear you.
A 1 minute conversation becomes a week.
Exactly.
A fight. It's like, okay, wait. What are we actually talking about?
I remember even there was a time I was like, the Bible says, don't let the sun go down on your anger, Baba. How are we angry for the whole week? How is this happening? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think I was telling somebody, I was saying, in hindsight, also, perhaps God was stretching me also a little bit as a wife, right? To say, okay, perhaps, yes, there's these imperfections that you're seeing and these expectations that are unmet and so forth, right? But how about you go on your knees? How about you take time and fast and pray? Right?
Yeah.
How about you are uncomfortable a little bit? Ooh. So I didn't want to be uncomfortable. No. I'm like, no.
Like you carry me.
Like I must be uncomfortable for what? Me? Sure. Me, I'm a princess. Me, like
you do all the hard work.
You know what I'm saying? So I think also I've learned a lot. Marriage is two imperfect human beings that are coming together and making a decision that, listen, I'm going to see your bad side, your good side, but I'm in it for the long run and I'm not going anywhere. And if I have to be strong because you're weak right now, then so be it. Because perhaps along the journey, I'll be weak and then you'll be my strength. But for now, the two have become one. So there's a reason why God has brought us together.
Me and I am you.
Right?
Yeah.
And when I look at you, I should be able to see my reflection and vice versa. So you show me my good, but you also show me my bad.
Ooh.
You can't expect just, oh, you are so beautiful. Oh, you are so gorgeous. Oh, when you wake up, such a queen. You know what I'm saying? You must
that's
also
all the reflection that you did afterwards. And you probably also thought the same way you expected perfection from him, you then introspected that you're probably not perfect as well. And you're like, what was I thinking? To expect such high standards. What if I was also not meeting him halfway?
Absolutely. And he's expecting that I'll be worshipping and praying and Rabba Kashara at midnight. And I'm not.
Yeah, true story. So why is the book titled Why Did I Get Married to? Is this the name of the movie as well? The Tyler Perry movie?
Yes.
So is it about that?
No.
Storyline? No, it's completely different.
Completely different.
What is it about?
So this is my life story. And I remember when God dropped this name in my heart in like 2019.
Yeah.
I really did not feel like I have a story to tell. I was like, okay, God, the only story that I have, I'm separated from my husband, yes. I was a teen mom, yes. How many teen mom stories are there? Like, what's so unique about my story? I had no idea. But God could see into the future, and he knew what was still to come. And he knew that, listen, your story is for my glory. And there's still pain that's going to come, but know that pain is not in vain, right? It's for a greater gain. But I had no idea at the time, like, what was happening. God dropped the name, and I remember just opening a Word document and writing, why did I get married to? And I closed it. And I was like, book or something like that. And then a year later, I had met this woman. I won't go into detail. Get the book, and the story is in the introduction of how the name came about. But fast forward, and this stranger prayed with me over the phone that I had just met once. And I remember immediately after praying, I wept. And after weeping, like I fell to my knees and I wept.
Sure.
And after weeping, I felt words coming, and I wrote a little bit. You know, I went back to the document and I wrote. And then I closed the document again, and a year passed, and 2 years, and 3 years. But I was just journaling, right? Everything that's been happening in my life, I've just been journaling, thinking that, you know what, it's just part of healing. It's just part of healing. And I think a year ago, then God reminded me, listen, there's that assignment that I gave you like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Let's get back to it. Do you see now what I was doing? Wow. Do you see now what has happened from then until now? You know? And that's when I was like, oh my goodness. And writing the book as well, more healing needed to happen with the loss of my mom.
Isn't it therapeutic as well? Writing it because, you know, you're reliving the moment but differently.
You're facing it head on.
You're facing it head on. And I love what you said by saying that your story became his glory. Your story was for his glory. You know, and just to go back to your daughter, when she fell pregnant, you know, you received so much love from the church personally. When you fell pregnant as a teen, did you give her the same warmth that you received? How did you receive the news? Because I mean, you know, we want better for our kids. We don't want our kids to go through the mistakes that we went through, you know. I know sometimes I'm so hard to my daughter personally, my teenage daughter, academically, because I failed at school and I desperately don't want her to fail. Because I'm like, listen, I was at school for 1 extra year. My sister was in Tisha Remina was left behind. Like everything of mine was just behind by a year, and it might seem little to someone, but that pain for me, I know how severe it is. So I don't want it for her, right? So I want to know from you, because you had walked that path. You're not like a mom who had never gone through that. You went through it yourself. How did you receive the news realistically? How was it for you?
You know, first, before I answer, I remember this one time my mom and I used to argue a lot growing up. Like, we were similar, but I didn't see it until years later. And this one time, you know, we're talking, now we're older, okay, we're not really arguing, but it's like disagreeing now because you're older. And she's like, you know what the sad part is? I see myself in you. And you know, I write a little bit about that in my book, that, you know, as a parent, you want your child to take only the good from you, right?
Come on now.
But they take what they take.
They take what they take.
The good, the bad, the ugly. You know, see bits and pieces of yourself in your child, which is exactly what would happen with my daughter. I would look at her and I'd see bits and pieces of myself, parts that I like, parts that I don't like, you know, and you want to fight with the parts that you don't like. But to answer your question, I was grieving my mother. And, you know, as much as my mom and I would fight a lot, we disagree a lot, I lost my grandmother, who I thought I was closer with than my mom, but that was not the case. My grandmother was sweet, yes. I call her, "Hey, nkgono, nkgono." When she passed, I mourned, but nothing like when I lost my mom. Like, I've lost people that I love. The pain of losing my mom, I don't wish that on my worst enemy. That, like, even to date, I still sometimes sit and I'm like, vele, vele.
Hey,
Like, you gone, mama. Like gone, vanished,
just
like that. Remember, they called us into hospital. We all came. After visiting the hospital room for years, now you come there and you must hug a lifeless body. You know, this last week you were feeding her, and this week she's gone, you know. So for me, when I found out about my daughter's pregnancy, I can't even remember what was happening, because I was in a daze.
you're going through too much.
I was going too much. Like, I think only months later, like, reality, like, started, you know, like, you there but you're not there. It's like, is this my life? Like, am I dreaming? Am I here? Am I not here? Like, I was in a daze for months. I don't want to lie. Like, literally, I was in the situation, but it's like, this is not my life. I'm here, but I'm not here. So it took months and months and months for me to, I think only when the baby was born, that's when it was like,
it clicked.
Like, now I'm waking up like, glammy, excuse me.
You are 100% glammy for sure. I've heard people use the word glammy and I'm like, we actually agree. You are the real glammy for sure.
So I think, you know what, she's got a good support system.
Okay, good.
Her family from her dad's side really support her as well. And they've really stepped up over the years, especially now that my mom is no more. You know, her granny, I really need to applaud her, really, really is there for her and steps in even where I can't. You know, I even talk about in the book that I'm still on that journey of healing and of self-love. I think the main message in this book is really about self-love, which I lacked and I didn't know really that, listen, that is my main issue in life, self-love. And once you get to a point of self-love, you attract the correct love, right? Number one. Number two, you're also able to give love correctly. And it doesn't mean that just because you have a child that you're able now to give love correctly. No, the child is there, but if you don't have self-love, you're not going to be able to give that child the love that the child exactly. So I'm still learning, you know. I'm still making mistakes. I'm still asking God, like, God, give me strength, give me wisdom. Sometimes I think to myself, oh my goodness, is this what I put my mom through? Oh Lord, where's she? So I can be like, Mama, sorry.
No, I think adulting does that to you. Hey, you're like, no, hold up. No, I need to apologize to my parents a little bit, because now my kids are showing me what I used to show my mom. But it's a beautiful thing. I think it's a part of life, and your daughter's going to go through the exact same thing. So I know you're a musician as well. Now, before you go, guys, we asked her before if she's going to sing for us. We're like, please, you have to sing. And she said, are you going to pay me? One line, just for show off.
Oh my goodness.
You don't know, maybe another brother is watching.
No comment. No comment. Oh, Naledi, you were born to succeed. Don't let them kill your dream. Protect the vision that you see. Shine like the star you are. Shine like a star when Akanya Naledi.
Wow. I want more. I knew you were going to love it.
Bakaga Imali is a foreigner.
My daughter's name is in that song.
Oh,
It's like, where's your music available?
My music is available on all musical digital platforms. It's MeloBeGreat. I've got an EP out. I was actually nominated for the Basadi Music Awards for Best Newcomer last year. For that EP, which is titled Naledi. There's also a song there, for my mom. And guys, I just want to say, every test that you're going through will become a testimony if you allow God to take the lead. I remember I was sitting in darkness in one of those days where the curtains were closed, the room was dark, and I got a call. And I can see Truecaller says Samro. And I'm like, okay. And I answer the call and they're like, okay, yeah, we've been waiting for your documents. Did you see the email? I'm like, what email? And they're like, oh, you don't know, you didn't see. I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, no, you are one of the recipients of the Samro Fund. And I'm like, my goodness, like, I was like, God,
so good.
Yo, I'm getting emotional.
This is the part of the testimony.
It was
You've gone
that
through
moment.
the test.
Like, God knew I needed something that's going to make me get up from that couch. And I needed to get up and make music. And I'm so grateful. Like, when I look back at my life, like, it's only God, that has brought me this far. And in that moment, like, now I had like a true reason to live. We were talking about how when someone passes that you love, that something dies. And some people actually, they stop living. They breathe, but they stop living. So it was in that moment where God was reminding me that, listen, your mom passed, but she finished her journey, right? You've still got to continue and walk your path. You've still got something that I want you to achieve and accomplish. You've still got your purpose. And I needed to get up and make music, and there was no time for me to die. I was grieving, but God was like, come on, we've still got work to do. And I guess that's my message as well to anybody who's watching as well, to say, listen, yes, you're going through that pain. Yes, you're going through that difficulty. You don't understand why. You don't know what the reason is. But listen, God is going to use it if you allow Him, right? It's all going to work out for your good if you allow God. But there is still a purpose in your life. You need to find what that is. Despite the pain, the heartache, the challenges, allow God to show you why. Eventually He'll reveal it, but sometimes He doesn't, but He will reveal what He wants you to do on earth, because ultimately our lives are not our own. That's what I'm learning, I can't hold on to my gifts. I can't hold on to the story. Not even the story is mine. It is for somebody else to find healing, to find their way back to God. Somebody who's been angry, discouraged, to be like, oh my goodness, if she can still find her purpose and still believe and trust God, even after all of that, then what I'm facing, it's small fish to fry.
Wow. Jobs, Mike. What a way to end it off. Oh my goodness, wow.
Small fish to fry. That's my first time hearing that.
Melo, thank you so much
good.
for sharing your story. You are such a beautiful human being.
Stunning.
Your story is inspiring. It's beautiful. And I'm glad that in your most deepest grief, God used something that you love, that is your gift, to get you back up again. And may that gift, your music, your book, be a vessel to heal others out there. Continue doing the great work. I'm so glad you came. Guys, please buy the book. Please Get her music on iTunes and all digital platforms. Let us support this beautiful queen. And yeah, you know, like, please don't not do it.
Don't not do
She
it.
must feel it. Oh, you know, going to talk to those two. It did something.
I definitely want to read the book. I'm looking forward to it. And only because she's got so much wisdom, you know, she's filled with the word, and really her experiences are a testimony. And we give God the glory for that. Okay, let's close. Time is up. From myself, Innocent.
And myself, Millicent, and our gorgeous guest, Melo. And of course, our team behind the scenes. We'll see you on the next one. It's bye for now.